What's up guys, Maritime Spook here, and just out for a chaga hunt here, and I found a little bit, so I'm going to go and get it off of the tree, process it down. Whenever you find this stuff, guys, it's always good to go out and do a cursory look of where you found it first, and then as long as you can find your way back to where you found it, because sometimes you can't. This was made easy for me because somebody came in here and built like a little lean-to, and looks pretty old to me. So the thing being is, I noticed a lean-to, so that I did a little look around and I found some. So what I always do is, that was an easy marker, so I came back and I was able to find some trees that could easily harness, I guess, chaga. But I didn't really find any. But I did, like I said, I found my way back to this tree. So that's one good thing about when you're chaga hunting, guys, is you can somewhat rule out places when you go to them. Wearing my chest rig today. Got it's like essential gear here in the front. Got the cancelable on the front here. I got the SOG Ninja pack on the back here with cook stuff and just some breakfast stuff and stuff like that, and just out for a jaunt. But we're supposed to be getting a nor'easter here now, guys, so I'm going to get at getting this, and I'm going to keep moving down the coast here, because what I am is I'm about 200 feet up from the coastline, so I can go down over the bank in here and be on the beach, and we'll get back with you when I'm down there, most likely, and we'll have maybe a little tea or something like that. So just bear with me here. When I get out to get the chaga here, actually right now I'll just show you, and then I'll show you. I'm going to be taking it off, and the reason for this video is because Derek from Triple X, he wanted to have some people do some action type videos or whatever, just kind of what they do with their knife. So that's kind of what I do, is when I go get chaga, guys, I love to use the nor'easter. It's a great big knife. It's M2 steel. I can get in there and pry it and not worry about it breaking. And it makes it so down through like this thick stuff like this, I don't have to grab an axe or anything like that. So I'll show you how thick it is in here, guys. And it's pretty much a birch stand, and they're silver and some other white birch and whatnot. And you can see right here in front of me, somebody had built the lean-to. I didn't build it, but good job to whoever did. Anyway, this is the chaga. This whole section right here is all a good piece of chaga. So I'm going to take it out because this tree's already leaning and going to probably, it's still decently live, but it's on its way out, we'll put it that way. And always when you're looking, and look up too, for two reasons. For one, you might see some more, and for two, make sure that some of these rotten trees don't whack you in the head, okay? Anyway, I'm going to grab the nor'easter. I'll grab that out and we'll get this off. Okay, guys, I had this on my belt, so I had to get this off my belt, guys, but there's that piece. I'm going to start hacking away at it. I probably won't show you the whole thing because sometimes it doesn't get pretty. You got to get in there, and I mean, it's going to take me a few minutes, so as far as dexterity goes, I don't want to use 10 minutes of the video trying to pry this thing off of here. And sometimes I'll go down on the coast and grab a rock, guys, and just smash it to get some of it off, because as tough as this knife is, I don't want to, destroy the knife trying to get something off that I can get off with a primitive tool. That's how our ancestors did it. So Spooks knows to learn from the ancestors. But here's a nor'easter, guys, one of my favorite knives. It's a beast. It's an M2 steel. Desert ironwood scales here, but it's a huge, big, heavy, like to me, knife. Very, very thick, and like I said, like a 6-inch blade, pretty well. So beast of a knife. I got the sheath here, which got my fat wood fire steel on it. But I recommend sometimes having something heavy, obviously, guys, to get these things off, because this stuff does not just come off easy, and a lot of the time you got to go in and get some of the stuff that's holding it on off, and I just reached with all my weight and it's not even moving, so it's going to take a few minutes to get this off. So I'm going to keep it that, and you don't want to totally destroy the chaga before you get it off, because if you get it in like a million little pieces, that's kind of defeating the purpose of harvesting it. Okay, so I'll get the bark off of this, guys, and then I'll show you the piece when we're done. But I'm going to use the nor'easter to do that. It's the only big tool I brought with me. So we'll get this off, and then we'll get back with you. I'm going to show you how to get some of this off, because we might as well almost do a part 2 video, just for the amount of time I have for recording and stuff, guys. So I'm going to get on the other side. I've been able to get the knife in there, bang it in like I sometimes do. I'm lucky because sometimes you can't, and I'll show you that. Now I got a collection bag you can see on the side here, and if I drop it I can always lift it back up, but I'll get in here with my hand and I'll pound on the knife. Sometimes you can even get yourself you know, like a stick or something hard. Sometimes that's good to do. But you can see right there, guys, there's that beautiful chaga. Okay, you can see the inside of the tree. I'll get in and harvest all this little bitty stuff even, and because it's all going to probably end up going into a powder, because this chaga is actually for Derek, the owner of Triple X Knives. So I thought it was a good way to do it. That's sometimes harder to get at, but we'll get in here and we'll get the big stuff off, and then I won't bore you with scraping all this out, but I'll scrape all that out because when I sort of instruct him what to do, or he can do it on his own, I'm going to find out, you know, usually I end up using it as going in there and grinding it up to make a tea. So even if you get these little pieces, guys, if you can harvest it, and if it's everywhere, that's one thing. You can pick and choose, but I looked a decent amount here today. There we go. So you can get big chunks of it off sometimes like that. This is all perfect stuff. I'll clean off the bark, of course. But this is all good harvestable stuff right here, guys. I'm going to get in and clean this out. We got a couple bigger chunks here, but having a big blade is what does this kind of work, guys. If you had a little more, I'm sorry, guys, you're not going to get in. It ain't a heavy enough knife to chop that off. I have a more strapped to the front of me right now, and I wouldn't dream, unless I had to, of trying to get this mushroom off of this tree. Actually, this is a sclerosis. It's not really a mushroom, but it's somewhat of a covered in mycelia fruit body is what it is, basically. So I'm going to get all these little pieces off, guys, and then we'll probably put this as part 1 and maybe a part 2. I'm going to get a tea here going after, as long as the weather doesn't pick up. But I just wanted to show you that, guys. I have a heavy tool, Triple X Nor'easter, guys. It's my big, heavy go-to knife. If I had one knife I had to take into the bush, and the only knife I could take, it would most definitely be this. You can baton through an Abrams tank with this thing, guys. I'm not joking. And the edges never got enough that I really had to sharpen it, and I've used it a lot. So I'm going to get in and clean this out, guys, with the Nor'easter. But just wanted to share that with you, and want you guys to take her easy and look for part 2, because I'll get in here and maybe get down on the bay. But the weather may change. We're supposed to be getting a Nor'easter. And this is funny because this is the Nor'easter. But we were supposed to be getting one, and it hasn't picked up yet. So I'm going to keep moving up the coast. I'm going to see if I can find another tree, and if in part 2 I find another one, we'll harvest that one as well. But just wanted to show you my little take on it, and this was a good find. So we'll get this done and get it ready for Derek. I got a squirrel over here pissed right off at me too. See you, squirrel. Anyway, guys, take her easy. I'll get back with you. Stay safe. Probably be a part 2.